Okay, so today we have another workout on the Bosu. It is 33 minutes and 40 seconds long, and it's part of the functional intelligent training to create stability and strength in your core, in your glutes, and your shoulders with core moves. So we're going to start on our Bosu with the dome up and in the center of our mat. We're going to be doing lunges and squats, some planks, and then we're going to be doing some Pilates exercises, a lot of core. So just make sure that you have a towel or a block or anything that you need to help support your knees, and that you have some water, and let's just go with it, okay? A little bit of a thigh burner, but I hope you enjoy it. So I'm just gonna start with the Bosu up in the center of my mat. Actually, I'm gonna move mine over so that I have enough room to move, and I'm gonna put my left foot in the middle of the dome. Get your hips level, pull the belly in, and you're going to lunge to the side. So when you lunge, keep your chest lifted and your shoulders square, and then you pull yourself back in with that same leg. So it's lunge, pull, lunge, pull. Let that leg land softly and keep the hips level the whole time. So your foot is in the middle of that Bosu, and as you come back in, you're not bringing this foot back down for support. You're lunging and lifting. It might even help to kind of pull the knee up to remind you the stability is coming from your core, from that left leg. Like a little speed skater. And then we're going to shift to the other side. So you can move your Bosu in your mat if you need to, or just drag your mat along like me. Right foot is in the center of the Bosu. Get your balance, find your core, find that connection with your hips and your shoulders, and then side lunge, lift it up. So see, I lost my core there, and my balance. Lift, so side lunge, lift, side lunge, whoop. Definitely not having my balance on this side. Lift it up. Step gently, lift, there we go. Trying to do too much with my hands, I think. Pull it in with the core. Your energy comes from the inside of that right thigh to pull you back in. And don't rush it. Focus on that form and keeping the chest lifted. Okay, we're doing step ups now. So you're just going to step one foot up and then the other, and then opposite foot. So we're going to start with the right. Step into just the outside of the circle, up, up, left down, left up, left down, right down. So you're alternating your legs as you step up, and this is about focusing on keeping the core pulled in so you can keep your pelvis stable. So it just warms up the legs a little bit, finding your glutes and that stability in the ankle joint as we step up and down off the Bosu. And if you want to go quick with it and get a little cardio hit, you can run off the top of the Bosu. So that's up to you. Land softly and use your bum and your core to support you. Okay, we got squats on the Bosu now. So you're going to come so that your feet are on the between the second and third ring on either side of the dot in the middle, or wider. Okay, so you have to check your alignment, check your knees are going over the toes. Then when you know you're set up properly, you're going to squat, push away. It's a good way to see that you're keeping the weight in your heels, because if not, your toes will tip forward and you'll lose your balance. So you really want to keep the weight in the heels. The power comes from the bum, the core is pulled in, the chest is lifted. You can keep your hands just in front of your chest if you want, or you can sweep them forward and pull them back as you extend up. Finding that connection in the thighs and the glutes. And breathe. Good job. Okay, we've got wide step on, step off with the knee up. So, stand to the side of your Bosu, step up, knee up, step down, knee up, step up, lift up, step down, knee up. So it's using your core, and you can go faster if you want to, but keep your hips level. So the hips aren't changing height, your belly is pulled in, and your spine is in neutral. It's a little bit of cardio, a little bit of stability for the feet, for the ankles, working those intrinsic muscles Working on the hip flexors to pull that knee up together with your core. Breathe, relax your shoulders. Your left leg will be getting a little bit fatigued by now. And other side. So you're gonna step up, knee up, step down, knee up. So coming close to the side of the Bosu. Step into the center, knee up, step down, knee lift. Make sure you fully contract as you stand on that right leg. Really push the leg up so you get that full lift as you lift the knee. You're not just trying to cheat it and not move too much. So really get that full extension of that right leg as you lift up onto that Bosu. And pull the knee up using your core. And keep your shoulders and your hips facing the same direction. And breathe. Pulling the belly in always. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears always. That's it. Good job. Okay, we've got squats on the flat side now. So you're going to flip your Bosu over so that the dome is down. Bring your hands to your Bosu. Step your foot onto the wider edge. Push your opposite hand in. Step the foot on. Then once you've got your balance, so glue your belly to your thighs. Then drop your hips. Push yourself up. Once you're ready, into your squat. Push away. So focus on getting the lateral border of the knees in line with the toes, with the baby toes, and keeping the chest lifted and finding the power in the legs and the stability in those intrinsic muscles in the feet. You can see the dome wants to whoop. That's because my muscles want to misbehave and not track my knees out. Good job. Okay, you can rock the dome to one side. Cross your legs over, step up. We're going to do push-ups kneeling, so bring the dome to the end of the mat, flat side up. Hands come just inside the pointed edges. Bring your knees back, squeeze your glutes till you come into an incline, and then bring your chest towards the dome, push away. So keep that navel pulled towards the spine the whole time, and your body long, and your glutes pulled down towards your hips. Keep the shoulders really nice and wide on the back of the spine and away from the ears. So remember to use those muscles underneath your armpits. And you can even open your hands up wider if you need to keep those shoulders really nice and wide. You can play around with your hand position, but don't lose the glutes or the navel to the spine. Good job. Okay, we're going to do knee to nose now. So you can do these on your elbows or stay up on your hands. We're going to extend to a long plank. So come in that long plank and then pick the right foot up off the floor, curve the spine, pull the knee into the nose. Reach it back, but don't put it down. Pull it in, knee to nose. So you're pushing those shoulders wide away from each other. We're using our core in our Pilates, leg extension, hip flexion. Really pulling that navel into the spine. It's the bum that extends the leg, the erector spinae that extend the spine, and the abdominals that flex everything in. And drop it down. We're going to do the other side, so just rest for a minute if you need to. Bring your hips back and fold into your turtle stretch. Then come back up, send your right leg back, your left leg back, pull your belly into your long plank, and then lift the left leg up off the floor, find that stability, and then pull it in. Knee to nose, lengthen away, use the bum to hold the leg up there. Core to pull in, reach away. Keep your trapezius away from your ears. Those muscles just on top of your shoulders. Pull it in, lengthen. Find that length when you come back to that long line. And that stability in the shoulders will help keep the Bosu nice and level. Drop the knees, just push yourself back for a minute, stretch your arms out over the Bosu, maybe even rest your head on it. Then we're going to flip it over and bring our pelvis into the dot. So you want it to be between your belly button and your hip bones. Reach your hands out, we're going to do Superman. So hands are out, toes are out. Now push your hands into the floor to lift and extend the spine. Pull the belly in, then squeeze the glutes and lift the feet. If you're comfortable there, stay there, or you can reach the hands out and find your balance. Lengthening the spine, reaching the hands. If you're tipping forward, you're probably too far forward on the Bosu, so pull it back a bit, or maybe you're using your glutes more than your back extensors. So just find that connection with the whole body, and remember to lengthen that lower back. Keep the arms wide. And then just fold yourself over. Next, we're going to do starfish. So that same movement, but you're going to open your hands and legs out to a V. So open your feet really wide, your hands really wide. Now you're going to lift everything to a star, drop everything down and fold. Lift everything to a star, drop everything down and fold. And again, adjust your position. If you feel that you're not really getting enough lift in one part of your body, and you can even hold it in your star if that's where you want to go today. It's up to you. But getting that nice little fold forward feels good on your back. Then lifting it back up and lengthening, and then releasing back again. Lengthening and releasing down. Keep going. I'm just going to try and adjust my leg. I've got no power in my gym, so I'm struggling with the light in here, even with all the windows open. Okay, we've got plyometric jacks on the, prone jacks on the Bosu. So your hands come on the top of the dome, your legs come back till you're on a plank, get that stability in the shoulders, and then you're gonna hop your feet in and out. Just to the width of your mat, and back in again. Keep the glutes squeezed the whole time, and the navel pulled in towards the spine. Keep the shoulders wide. And if that's too much for you, step it out slowly. Squeeze the bum and tap the toe, tap the toe. Otherwise, nice light hops. Just getting a bit of cardio in there. Pushing into the Bosu. Feel like you're trying to spread the heels of your hands wide and your fingertips down towards the floor so that you get that nice length in the wrist joint. Good job. Okay, we've got one foot in the center of the Bosu, and we're going to squat wide to the side. So like our side lunge, but this time it's a squat. So left foot in the center, squat, stand up, whoop, squat, stand, squat, land that foot lightly, keep the chest lifted, find the power in the bum, lift, squat, keep your hips and your shoulders facing the same direction, and only come as low as you can control those knees over the toes. You can control your core being pulled in and your hips staying level. So if you don't have that hip flexibility to come really low without tilting the hip, then stay up high. Now we'll swap over to the other side. Right foot in the middle. Find your center, your core. Step wide, lift. Now you don't have to lift the knee up. You might just want to tap. That's okay if that helps you with your balance. Otherwise, you can pull it up. But then don't let your balance get lost and pull you down to the floor. You're still resisting gravity with that supporting leg. So it might be easier to tap, step, squat, tap, step, squat, whatever option is working for your stability. Keep that chest lifted and those hips square and connected with your core. Good job. Okay, we're going to sit on the front of the dome now. So have your dome somewhere in the middle. Make sure that the wings point out to the sides. And just come so that you've got that space where you feel nice and comfortable. Not like you're going to slip off the front of the dome, but you can lengthen up your whole spine. Push into the front of your knees, and then curl your spine back until you're into this sort of crunch position. Then you're going to float your right leg up, float your left leg up, and find your balance. If you're comfortable there, you can lift your hands. If you're not comfortable, you might need to pull your hips a little bit further down, reset, and then reach those hands. So you're in your balance pose. Squeeze your knees together like they're one leg. Your abs will be shaking. You're lifting from the sternum, Don't jam your chin into your chest. Find your balance. It's really all about the core. Put your hands on your knees, roll yourself forward, and come into a little fold. So now we're actually going to move those hands and knees. I don't know if you can still see me. This is crazy. Roll yourself back. My electrician or my builders hit an electrical cable that goes to my gym because the previous owners didn't properly bury it when they built the house. We're their extension to the house. So I've got no electricity, no heat, no light, and a long extension cable coming from my house. This is really hard on the core. Keep that chest lifted. If it's too much, stay in the dead bug. If it's too much, hold on to the knees and find that balance. Whatever works for you, build up to it. If you don't get it in the beginning, try again. Okay, we're gonna go into a lunge, but put our knee back on the dome. So you're gonna start with your knee on the dome, your front foot forward, square your hips, find your glute, then push into your front leg, lunge, lift the knee, step it back. So your knee is just coming to the dome, your foot comes behind. Push into the front leg, step it back. Push, lunge, push, finding the glutes on both legs. So your right glute is contracted to keep the hips facing the front so you don't get any tibial torsion in that left knee. And your left glute is working to pull your body forward into that lunge or that standing position. Keep squeezing both glutes. Keep your hips and your shoulders square to each other. And then we're going to do the other side. So bring your left knee to the dome, your right foot in front, squeeze the glutes, square the hips. When you're ready, push into that front leg, lift the knee, push it back, drop the knee. Lift, send it back. Keep the belly pulled in to protect that lower back so you're not getting any flexion and extension in the lower lumbar, even as you stand. And you can keep that connection with the glutes to help you with your balance. Step back, tap the knee, pull it in, back, squeeze that bum, push through the right bum. Step it back, left glute keeps the hips square, right glute brings you up to standing. Lost my balance. There we go. Okay, we're gonna put our shoulders on our dome now and do some little glute lifts. So bring yourself back so your shoulders are right in the middle of the dome. Cradle your head with your hands. Lift your hips to your glute bridge. And then you're just going to flex directly at the hip, not letting the spine change shape. And then squeeze and lift the bum. Make sure your knees are hip distance and parallel. Your core is pulled in. So that rib cage is being pulled down towards your hips. Everything's pulled in nice and tight. Your spine isn't changing shape. It's long and in neutral. If anything, tuck it under more if you're not sure. But try to keep the core engaged in neutral and you're just using the bone to lift. If it goes into the back of your thigh, into your hamstrings, you're not using your glutes, you're using your hamstrings. And bring yourself up. Okay, we're going to add a chest fly to that. So just rest for a minute. Then when you're ready, bring yourself back again. And this time, open the hands out to a T. So come up to your full glute bridge, open your hands to a T, and then reach them up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other. Now, as you drop your hips, you're going to open the arms. As you lift the hips, close the arms. Find that connection with your core and with your pectoral muscles, your chest. And if you want to, you can even do these with little weights. Make sure that your knees aren't splaying in or out with these glute lifts, that they're just tracking equal distance between them. If you're not sure, put a yoga block or Pilates squish ball between them to make sure they're staying equidistant. Okay, we're putting our front foot on the Bosu now to lunge. So it's a static lunge. Front foot goes in the center of the Bosu. Squeeze your left hip, the glute, square your hips, pick up the left heel, and then lower the left knee down to the floor. Push into the right foot, stand tall. So that left glute is on fire to keep your hips square with your shoulders. Everything is facing the front of your mat. Your hamstring is working really hard on your front leg to bring you up together with your left glute to keep you stable and centered the whole time. Finding the balance through those intrinsic muscles in the foot and the ankle, intrinsic muscles in the knee. Good job. Flip it around. So swap sides. I'm gonna see if I can adjust that light again. So it's left foot in front on the Bosu. In the center of it, right foot comes back, squeeze that right glute, find that center balance, and then drop the knee, push it up. Only come up till you can fully extend that back knee. If you want to, you can then push the front leg straight and then slowly bend the knee, bring yourself down. But you don't have to fully straighten that front leg. It's about finding the power in the back of the leg to push you away from the Bosu. And the power in the back glute to keep that hip open and square. That's it, good job. Okay, we're gonna do glute bridge with our feet on the dome now. So lie on down the mat. Your feet are on the top of your Bosu, and your hips are touched right up against the back of it. So get those knees hip distance, lift up to your glute bridge. Once you're in your bridge, flex your knee into tabletop, extend it up to the ceiling, bring the toes towards your face, relax your shoulders, let's lower the leg, point the toe, lift it up, lower, point and lift, lower, keep the shoulders and the hips square, that right glute working really hard to keep you level and stable, a little bit harder on the Bosu, last one, lower and lift, now bend, reach it out, sweep it up, bend, reach and sweep, one more bend, reach and sweep, bend the knee, place the foot down and roll the spine back down onto the mat. Hug your knees in for a second and let's do the other side. Both feet on the Bosu, roll the spine away from the floor. My ponytail is in a terrible position. Soften your sternum, find that stability in your right leg now, tabletop your left, flick it to the ceiling, flex the toe towards the face, keep those hips level and square, drag the heel, point the toe, lift it up. Drag, keep your collarbone really nice and wide. Keep pushing through that right glute. The belly is pulled in, protecting your spine, keeping it nice and long. Point and reach, flex and lower. Keeping the core connected. And then bend, flick, chase it down, bend, flick, chase it down, one more bend, flick, chase it down, bend, and roll all the way down. Flip yourself around so that Bosu is back against your back again. And you're gonna hinge back into a lean. So bring your knees are bent, elbows are wide, hinge, look up at the top of the ceiling, lift yourself back up. If you're struggling with your hip flexors, come to the front of your Bosu for this so that you're just propped on it, but then come back down for the next exercise. So you just hinge back and then lift your body up. Hinge and lift. You feel that shake in the abs as you go back into that hitch. Hinge, now we're gonna roll it back. So if you were up on the front of the dome, come back so you're just in front of it. Hands are parallel with the floor. You're gonna roll the spine, sweep the hands only to the point where you can keep your rib cage down. So you might have to stay like that long line parallel with the floor, then pull the ribs up, flex, the hands come towards the toes, and then lengthen up. Roll it back, sweep the hands up towards the ceiling, maybe even a little bit further than the ceiling. Nod the chin, roll yourself, stack the spine. Roll it back. Your hands are coming almost organically. Okay, but this is where you challenge the obliques as you reach those arms overhead. Nod the chin, flex the thoracic spine, and then lengthen. Okay, we're gonna put our hips on the Bosu now and swing. So back, working the back again. Pull that Bosu in underneath that space between your pubic bone and your hip bones. Push your hands into the floor, push your feet into the floor, and then lift the feet and see if you can lift the hands. If you tip forward, Then bring yourself back a little bit until you've got that balance. Once you've got the balance, you're going to drop the right foot and the left hand and then switch. Switch, switch. Find the length in the spine, the length in the arms. Don't crowd the arms in, so they want to be the width of your mat. Keeping the back long, keeping the belly engaged. Swim, and you can even go faster and not touch the floor if you want. And focus on that stability and balance using your core, using your back. Try not to wobble around too much. And then come on down. Woo, roll yourself forward. Okay, we're going to put our hands on the flat side of the dome. Get them just inside of the sort of label ends. Your knees are under your hips. Curl your toes under. Push yourself back to a down dog. Now from here, pull your belly in, round the spine, come to a long plank. Push your hips back. Down dog, your heels might not touch the floor. That's okay. Pull the belly in. Scoop the abdominals. Push the shoulders wide away from each other and then unravel back to your plank. Push yourself back. Scoop and round. Lift the heels as you come into that long plank, keeping the shoulders wide. Push yourself back. Stretch the hamstrings. Stretch the shoulders. Pull the core in. Find that connection. If you need to, you can widen your hands. Whatever works for your body. Okay, we're going to go into a squat hold now on the flat side of our dome. So, hands stay on the side, step one foot in, push into that left hand, step the other foot in, glue the belly to the thighs, release the hands, find your balance, lift your chest and hold. So remember, your spine is in neutral, you're sitting, your sit bones down, your lateral edge of your knees is in line with the lateral baby toe. Your chest is lifted, relax your shoulders. You can hold onto your knees if you want to. Find that stability. Weight is in your heels and the arch of your foot, but don't let your toes tip up. Pull the navel in, protect your lower back. Lift your sternum. And come on up. Push one foot down, cross the foot over, come off the dome. Okay, so we're sitting with the dome up, bum on the front of the dome, and we're going to do sit-ups. So hands comes outside into the ear, your knees are hip distance to shoulder distance, sit up nice and tall, and then you're going to hinge back and sit forward. So again, adjust yourself on the dome to protect your back and your hip flexors. It's not a curl back and curl forward, it's a hinge. So we're hinging back, pulling ourselves forward. Lift the pelvic floor, pull the rib cage in, relax the neck, and you're not going to come back too far. You'll feel it. You get that whoo, earthquake shake, and then pull yourself back in. Hinge, and in. From there, we're going to do our obliques with bow and arrow. So that's where we pull the bow back or the arrow back as we twist the body and then spring it back to the front. Okay, so hands reaching, shoulder height, pull the left hand back, scoop the abdominals, roll the spine back. So this time we are rolling, and then reach. Pull the right hand, twist to the right side, lengthen and reach. Pull, bow and arrow, and reach. Sometimes it helps to turn the hands so that they face the floor. If you're feeling it in your shoulder at all, just pull that hand so that it faces the floor. Make sure when you return to center or to your starting position that your arms don't start to crowd in. Keep them wide. Pull and twist using your obliques and reach. Don't let the knees change shape at all, so your core is keeping your hips stable and therefore keeping your knees stable. Right, we are hips on the dome doing a side plank. So bring your hip, I'm going to come out of the picture here, hip out on the dome. Forearm is following the top line of your mat. Lift the bottom torso and then lift the top leg. Reach the top hand and hold it. Now this is a good time to challenge your obliques because you're already here, you've got that support of the dome, but you're still lifting that bottom waistline away. If you want to, you can try and push into that bottom leg and just lighten the hip off of the dome and see how light you can be. So I'm just barely touching it. it's not holding me up. My leg and my core is holding me up. But while I'm building that strength, I might be sinking into it more, but I'm still focusing on pulling that bottom waistline right up towards the ceiling. And then just drop it down for a minute, relax. This time we're gonna add abduction of the top leg. So push into that elbow again, get it right away from your ear, reach your top hand, lift your top leg, lift your bottom waistline. Now laterally rotate your leg. So your toe faces the ceiling, your heel faces the floor. You're going to lift, flex the heel, drag it down. Point and lift, flex and drag. Point and lift. If you're getting any pain in your neck, look down towards your elbow. You want your neck to be relaxed. All this effort is coming from the bottom waistline and the legs and the core. Ooh, and the bum. Ooh, and release. Good job. We're going to do the other side. So hips are on the dome. Right on the center of the dome there. Elbow comes parallel with the top end of your mat. Pull your ear away from your shoulder. Lift your bottom waistline. Lift your top leg. Reach your top arm. So it is a really nice way to get that sort of support and build up the control in that bottom waistline. And again, if you want to, you can really power through that bottom leg and see how light you can get on the dome. Also, if you're getting any ache in your shoulder, just maybe rotate your hand so it comes to the top corner of your mat. But you want to feel everything lifting up towards those top fingers. The leg, the waistline, it's all about the core. Keep that shoulder away from the ear. Look down if you need to. Pull the navel to the spine. Lower the leg. Relax for a minute. You might even want to come all the way down. Nice little stretch in the lower back there. And set yourself back up. Shoulder away from your ear. Lift that bottom waistline. Lift the top leg. Now laterally rotate it so the toe faces the ceiling. Sweep it up. Flex. Drag it down. If it's in parallel, you're not going to be able to lift it as high and your waist is going to want to drop. So that's why you need that lateral rotation, and you're trying to control your balance on the dome and not let this waistline change. My waist is still in neutral. I'm working really hard through that bottom oblique as well as through my glutes to create that flexion and extension at the hip. Good job. Okay. We are now going to take our dome for a walk. So you're going to hook your fingers into the pockets here, and it's a bit awkward. You want your heel of your hand on the triangle and your fingers go into the little dip. Your knees come down. We're going to push ourselves up to a down dog and then squat forward till we come with our feet in close to the dome. Push into those triangles, come back to your down dog, squat forward. Now if that's hard on your shoulders, you can bring your hands to the sides of the dome, but it changes your lever and everything and makes it a little bit easier. So if you need to, definitely do that. Push it back and back in. Good. Okay. Last exercise. See how fast that went. We've got our roll back with port de bras. So we're going to stretch ourselves out. So bring your hips right to the back of your dome. Lengthen your knees nice and long in hip distance. Hands are parallel with the floor. You're going to roll the spine back, reach the hands overhead, all the way overhead. Open them out to the side, circling them around to the hips, then nod the chin, flex forward, lengthen all the way up. So we make this really nice and fluid. Roll it back, reach and extend, open the chest, nod the chin, flex everything in, stack the spine. One more time this direction, roll it back, hands overhead, sweep them wide, nod the chin, belly in, and lengthen up. Other direction, roll it back, sweep your hands down, out to the side, drop the head, sweep them overhead, nod the chin, flex that thoracic spine, reach it forward, lengthen. We're going to do two more. Roll it back, sweep the hands wide, overhead, sweep them up, ribs to hips, pull the belly in, lengthen up, last one, roll it back, sweep those hands out, allow the chest to stretch, reach overhead, nod the chin, flex it up, and lengthen all the way up. Good job. Okay, from there, just come into your mermaid seated, so you're whatever side you're on, put your thigh up against the Bosu. Sorry, my English has just failed me. And then your foot, sole of your foot is against the other knee. And that one's in a lateral rotation. If that lateral rotation doesn't feel comfortable for you, then just bring the leg out straight in front, okay, or out in a V, so that you're sat in this V position. You can't see my foot. Well, still can't see my foot maybe, I don't know. Okay, once you're sat comfortably, either with the lateral rotation or the leg straight, reach your hand onto the side of the Bosu, lift your left hand up, and then just slide your arm along and let your waistline take the shape of the top of the dome. Then from there, open the chest, look at the ceiling. Stack the shoulders back on top of each other and then fold forward, twisting towards the Bosu. Stack the shoulders back on top of each other. Now find that connection with the top waistline. Lift yourself back up. Drop the left hand or the right hand, whatever hand is working right now, and bend to the other side. Lengthen up and drop the hand. We'll do that one more time and then swap sides. So lift the hand up, slide the Bosu hand away, let your torso take the shape of the Bosu and take the side bend. Then open the armpit up towards the ceiling. Take a little bit of back stretch. Back to stack the shoulders in your side bend and then flex towards the Bosu. Let both hands come towards the mat. Pull your belly button away from the Bosu so you get a bit of a deep stretch in your QL muscle. Then stack the shoulders again. Find that side waistline to pick you back up. Drop the hands, swivel, and side bend to the opposite side. Good job. While we're here, we're just going to stretch the glutes. So bring your hands in front of your shin and just slide them forward or walk them forward. Just as low as you can go comfortably to stretch out your gluteal muscles. Really good with that sciatica pain to stretch out your piriformis and your gluteals. So depending on your knee, you can do it like this, or you can bring your knee up onto the Bosu and then slide your other leg away into your pigeon. It's a little bit modified. You can also have your leg cradle over the Bosu, so you get a longer angle in the knee joint, and then drop the thigh on there, slide the bottom leg, the back leg back, and then bring your chest towards your thigh. So if you're having any knee issues, just use this option. It's a really nice way to stretch out your gluteals and your sciatica joint, your sacroiliac joint, without putting any torsion on the knee. So you'll feel that deep stretch in the bottom. When you're ready, Bosu over to the other side. Or you take your body to the other side. Mermaid, your front leg, so the thigh follows the line of the Bosu. The sole of the foot comes to the other thigh with the knee back, or the heel back, so you're in internal rotation. Lateral rotation, internal rotation. If that doesn't feel good, straighten the leg. Once you've got yourself set up comfortably and both sit bones are nice and flat on the floor, then you're going to sweep the hand up. Slide the other hand along the Bosu, let the waistline take the shape, and come into that side bend. Once you're there, rotate up, little twist, look at the ceiling, and then center, and then to the floor. So this time, really reach that hand, the top hand, away from you. Pull your belly button away from your thigh so that you get that deep stretch right here in your QL. Back to the side, lengthen up, use that bottom waistline, tip the body over, stretch the other side. And let's do that one more time. Hand on, slide away, take the shape first. Then look up to the ceiling, open the chest, get a little spine twist. Back to center, flex towards the floor, reach that top hand away, pull the belly button away, stretch that whole side line. Stack the shoulders again, push into the floor, find that top waistline, tilt and stretch. And then back into center, hands in front, slide forward into your pigeon, or same as the other side, protect the knee, drop the thigh onto the top of the dome, but bend the knee still in, square the hips, and then fold your belly onto that front thigh. And you'll need to play around with that a little bit till you really feel it deep in your lateral rotators, but I know with the knee issues that sometimes that pigeon stretch or your figure four stretch can be really quite painful. So take the option that works for you. I hope you enjoyed that one today. Super job. We'll see you again.